A little while ago I talked about my experience in watching The Expanse. At that point in time I was halfway through season 3 and I was quite enjoying it. It was really quite good. I had a lot of questions though, like how did it compare to the books? What happened to the show when it moved to Amazon? Did it get a bigger budget and better production? How does it end? How does it address the remaining books that have yet to be adapted into the TV show? Well, I decided to do another Let's Talk about The Expanse, now that I've finished the series. Yes, I've watched it all, it's all over, and now I'm sad. First up is shift to Amazon. The shift to Amazon was a big one. The show clearly got a bigger budget, a much bigger budget, and it clearly improved in production, sets, costumes, and CGI. It goes from looking acceptable to pretty darn great. There are new cameras, new aspect ratios, better lighting and environments, more detailed sets, moodier looks, more detailed and realistic CGI, better sound design, more engaging action, and even the acting and writing improve as well, which is interesting. The Expanse Season 4, 5 and 6 look the way I wanted the first 3 seasons to look. It's much more cinematic and grander and moodier. Now, how does it end? I'm obviously not going to spoil it, don't worry about that, but the TV show does not adapt all of the books. I think there are still 3 left to be adapted, and yet the 6th season is the last. I think the 6th season does a good job at wrapping up the key major narrative going on, and it gives us a little bit of closure for the main cast. But there's clearly still a lot left to be said. There's a vague idea of what certain characters get up to next, and there are big plot elements that are teased throughout the season that sadly don't get resolved or addressed in a clear way. Doing my research, the makers of the show apparently consider this a break for the show rather than an ending. That's interesting but also worrying, and somewhat hopeful. Does that mean the show will return at some point and finish the story? Does it mean they plan on doing that? I imagine it cost a lot to make and it wasn't the most watched thing ever, so why would Amazon want to keep going? I know Jeff Bezos was a big fan, that might help its chances, but what's worrying is that if it does come back, will it get all the cast back? What if the cast are contracted to other shows or films? They might not be able to return, same goes for the crew, the writers, the directors. What if some of them get too old or worse? It's worrying that the TV show might never get an actual ending. I hear a new comic book is coming out and that will provide a little more closure, but it's also set between the book adapted in season 6 and what would be the next book or the next season, meaning it's still leaving a lot on the sidelines in case it does eventually get adapted. It's worrying, it's frustrating. Why would you advertise the show as the final season only for it to not wrap up the story and characters? It makes it seem like it was not the choice of those making the show, which it probably wasn't. Anyway, I've now started reading the books as well. I'm very early into the first one, so not a lot to say at this point. But like the first season of the show, it's a little overwhelming. I am liking it though. It's close to what happens in the show too, so I'm under the impression that the show was pretty faithful for the most part, at least early on. Time will tell on that one though. So in total, I really liked The Expanse. Season 4 had a lot of alien vibes. They actually go onto a planet too, showcasing its budget increase and cinematic styling. Season 5 slowed things down, and then Season 6 focused on a war. It was fun. I'll miss the show, but I'll also be hoping it returns in some form or another so you can actually see the end of the story. Let me know what you think in the comments below, subscribe to provide your own topics of discussion, and follow me at _Grant Burt. Thanks for watching.